My name is Tim Moffat, and my presentation is on Samsung, who has had a three-part crisis. This presentation takes a look at the steps that Samsung should have taken in three serious crisis situations that have occurred for them in the last year. Had Samsung taken the correct steps during the first leg of the crisis, the company would be better equipped to deal with the ensuing chaos that has followed them ever since. Please enjoy.
Samsung was not quick to respond to customers concerning their top-loading washing machines. When they did respond, they told consumers not to use the more aggressive settings available on the machines. Then they offered three options to rectify the problems: refund, replace, or repair. Unfortunately, the refunds are prorated based on the age of the washers. This did not sell well with consumers. In some cases, Samsung offered customers who had paid upwards of $850 initially $150 towards the new washing machine. The repair option for the machines was essentially a new sticker that went over the dial of the machine, covering up the options that would start them to become off balance. Many consumers picked these machines precisely because of these options that they were now being told they should not use. Consumers reported that the contractors hired to make the necessary fixes to the products were rude to the customers or did not respond, and that Samsung was not responding to complaints either. Eventually, Samsung did respond with this statement: "We are listening to and learning from every customer's experience in order to constantly improve our processes. Our priority is to reduce any safety risk in the home and provide safe choices to the consumers affected by the recall." Samsung's inaction has resulted in a class action lawsuit. Ideally, Samsung would have accepted responsibility as soon as it was apparent the product was dangerous to consumers. Samsung should have immediately announced the recall in a statement to the press and offered consumers a 100% refund, or they could have found a way to definitively repair the machines at no cost to the consumer. A statement admitting fault and apologizing for the inconvenience to customers would have been warranted and satisfactory. It also would have protected the company from further legal action and ingratiated themselves with their stakeholders, giving room to breathe when the Galaxy Note 7 smartphone's debacle happened. Samsung was also not quick to respond to the concerns of the consumers regarding the Galaxy Note 7 battery becoming overheating and bursting into flames. Initially, they announced the recall via a link in the settings tab on the phone that led the company's website, where the recall was listed as "Updated Consumer Guidance for the Galaxy Note 7." Once the consumer found their way to the not-so-urgent headline on the company's website, they were urged to completely power down their phones and return them to their cell carrier. It's a move that baffled many crisis management professionals who argued that given the situation, the company wasn't stressing the importance of said situation. It appears that Samsung took an equivocal communication approach. With that appears to be an avoidance goal conflict approach to a PR disaster that required a full-throated apology and compensation. Simply put, when lives are on the line, money and reputation are non-factors. Samsung should have immediately released a statement to the press telling consumers to immediately stop all usage of the Galaxy Note 7 and power down the phones. The issue is with the battery, which is not a new problem for cell phones. Samsung had less to lose by publicly declaring the phones unsafe and blaming the battery as the reason, as there is ample information to back up the claim that liquid-ion batteries are notoriously unstable. This course of action would have mitigated the damage that Samsung had already inflicted on the consumer. Samsung should have taken responsibility and offered a fix immediately in a statement released to every medium readily available in order to ensure that anyone with a reasonable way of hearing about the recall did. Samsung's interaction with the public in both instances are unacceptable at best and criminal at worst. Take the hit, take responsibility, and pay the money. Period. The opportunity for the situation to spiral wildly out of control is too great and the cost is too high to ignore a crisis with human implications. Now, Samsung is entrenched in the scandals whose implications have led to the first impeachment of a democratically elected president in South Korea's history, which does not bode well for their future. The breakup is reportedly to make a shift towards a board-centric management style more in line with current global trends. Samsung's reputation may be damaged, but the irony is that they finally seem to have gotten their response right with an apology. This situation is ongoing and may actually benefit from an equivocal communication approach, now that the apology has been entered on the record. Samsung should release a statement with their intentions going forward. If they do indeed intend to move to a board-centric style of management, it may be beneficial for them to distance themselves from any wrongdoing. They should use the opportunity to show consumers that they are moving in a more productive trajectory in order to shore up the mistakes of the past, and cut ties with their now tainted executives. It may be Samsung's only way of rehabbing the company's reputation. Had Samsung responded responsibly during their first crisis, they would have been better rehearsed for the ensuing situations. Samsung should have taken the washing machine malfunction very seriously and acted immediately to rectify the situation. This would have given them a little leverage with their stakeholders and some experience to strategize when the Galaxy Note 7 fiasco started to unravel. The Note 7 debacle served to spotlight and exacerbates the inability for Samsung to handle a real crisis with dire consequences for the consumer. Essentially, the situation went from bad to worse. Samsung should have used these crises as an opportunity to become better acquainted with their public and instill a sense of trust with their stakeholders. Instead, they come off as callous and uninterested in the safety and well-being of the people who pay their salaries. Immediate and unambiguous action is necessary when the crisis becomes dangerous to consumers. The fact that the company's top executives are being indicted for bribery and embezzlement is just the cherry on top of a terrible cake. That they apologize and have begun distancing themselves from the source of their troubles in this situation is a step in the right direction for a company that has been making mistakes since their trouble began.